This episode is brought to you by BetterHelp. Give online therapy a try at betterhelp.com/noche and get on your way to being your best self. Sometimes we're faced with a crossroads in life and we don't know which path to take. Maybe you're thinking about a career change or feeling like your relationship needs some TLC. Whatever it is, therapy can help you map out your future and trust yourself to find the way forward. If you're thinking of starting therapy, give BetterHelp a try. It is entirely online, designed to be convenient, flexible, and suited to your schedule. Just fill out a brief questionnaire to get matched to a licensed therapist and switch therapists at any time for no additional charge. Let therapy be your map with BetterHelp. Visit betterhelp.com/noche today and get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/noche. Now let's get started with today's episode.
They had to open me up. Not under anesthesia. It was the most painful shit of my life. I literally cried. They opened me up and they squeezed the blood clots out.
What is up, everyone? I'm your host, Alonized, and this is Noche de Pendejadas, your favorite talk show turned podcast en donde yo traigo a tus influencers favoritos para platicar y posiblemente sacarles sus trapitos al sol. Please help me welcome tonight's guest, AlondraDessy!
Thank you for having me.
Hello, friend. I feel like this has been such a long time in the making.
It has.
It has been, you guys. The amount of times you guys have been asking for Alondra to be on the podcast, y finalmente te tenemos, güey.
I know, it's been since last year. I remember people would tag me and you had asked me, then I got my BBL. I'm like, I'm recovering.
Alondra was actually supposed to be the season finale for the last season, ¿te acuerdas?
Oh, right. And what happened? I got my BBL, right?
Algo, no me acuerdo qué pasó, pero me acuerdo que me dijiste que ahorita no podías y que para mejor para el otro season. Entonces yo, cuando entró el otro pinche season, you guys, I was like, chinga su madre. Ella me dijo que me esperara y me esperé. Entonces aquí la tenemos, you guys. Yeah. Honestly, I thought you were gonna lag today.
What?
Not gonna lie.
You think I'm a liar?
No. Because honestly, I was getting ready on live, right? When you texted me about the flat tire, I didn't open the full message because I was on live. And I was like, fuck. Nomás miré la pinche llanta ponchada, güey. Y ya dije, she's gonna lag. How was that? You got a flat tire coming here?
We were already driving out the driveway, and I was like, the car feels really weird. It was making a weird ass noise. And Benny got off. He's like, fuck, we have a flat tire. I was like, oh my God, what am I gonna do? But I was at my sister's house and I was like, I need to borrow your car. She's like, go for it.
Yeah, llévatelo.
Yeah.
The good thing that you were already here. Imagínate si te hubieras pasado eso en el medio de la carretera, güey.
Yeah, I know.
Ahí hubieras quedado and you would have lagged.
Benny was driving my car yesterday. I was like, did you not notice the tire was so flat?
So what are you guys gonna do? You guys are gonna go arreglarla?
Evelyn's boyfriend went to go fix it right now. Meanwhile.
Period. Okay, you guys. So ya le quiero empezar con el chisme. Pero antes de que empecemos con el chisme, I'm gonna go ahead and send it over to Alondra para que ella nos diga un poquito más de quién es y qué hace.
Hi, so I'm AlondraDessy. I do Instagram and I'm a YouTuber. I've been doing it for a couple of years now, since I was a teenager, low-key. The Instagram part, not YouTuber. So I started being more consistent on YouTube when Elsie and I created our joint channel. And I feel like from there it took off.
It literally did. I feel like I remember meeting Alondra en un evento antes de que hubieras empezado. Well, you were already doing social media, but you were doing just the little makeup tutorials.
On Instagram.
Because I feel like everyone was doing them at the time. Yo también me aproveché and I was fucking putting
the orange concealer.
Yes, bitch, all exaggerated. I'm like, girl, you don't even have that much of fucking bags and shit.
Literally me.
Pero así empezó, and then I see you and Elsie, make your fucking combined channel, and you blew the fuck up. How was that for you?
Oh my God, it was so exciting because we knew we were gonna make it when Elsie and I filmed a video for my channel. It was on my personal channel. We hadn't even created our joint channel, and we did a smash or pass video, and it was a funny ass video, and it got good views. So we were like, hey, people like us together. Why don't we make our joint channel? And I feel like our joint channel is what made us blow up
together, because I feel like you guys definitely blew up together.
We did.
Which I feel like that's why a lot of people always be like, Alondra and Elsie, porque pues las vieron juntas, literally. So quiero empezar yo con tu infancia. Yo quiero que me digas, how was AlondraDessy growing up? ¿Cómo fue tu infancia, amiga?
So I was a very shy and quiet kid. I always kind of felt like the outcast. Literally since I was in first grade, I remember being so insecure because I used to get picked on a lot. because of my teeth.
Shut up.
I had gaps in like every single one of my teeth. So
Me.
I always felt like I looked like the odd one out, and kids would bully me. They were like brutal. I got bullied all the way up until high school. Like I would get picked on because of my teeth, and because I was just super shy and quiet. I was like socially awkward.
Do you feel like that affected you, like your mental state a lot?
For sure. I feel like that's why now it's hard for me to make friends, because I grew up so socially awkward because of my looks, and I used to get bullied. But I'm getting there, making more friends now.
You know what? That's crazy that you say that, because I do see you as a shy person.
You think
like
so?
cuando ahorita obviamente ya nos soltamos un poquito más. I feel like after the Vegas trip nos soltamos.
Yeah.
But even before, cuando te miraba, obviamente nos decíamos hola y todo, but sí la miraba a little bit shy, como reservada.
I think because I just grew up that way, so it's just a habit. But I feel like once I get to know the person, I'm really talkative and I'm just myself.
Like no te callas, güey.
Yeah, literally,
yeah.
So I would get picked on a lot, and I feel like that's what caused my social anxiety, I guess, and that caused me to get homeschooled my last 2 years of high school. So I was like super secluded. I don't know if it was a good idea, because I feel like it made me even more shy, because I was just like encerrada in the house doing schoolwork. But I feel like that opened up doors for me, because being homeschooled allowed me to focus on social media. Yeah, when I was in high school, I started Instagram, and a few brands would reach out. I think one of the first brands was like Vanity Planet, and I was so hyped. I was so excited.
You're like, fuck yeah, give me that fucking vanity. That's crazy.
And they invited me to an actual event in person, and that's how like the brand deals started.
Yeah.
So I would get brand deals even when I was like small on Instagram.
You're like, and that's it. So obviously, you know, you get homeschooled. Was it homeschooled or was it like independent study?
It was all online. So I would do like Zoom calls, and then the rest would just be like online, and I would just do all my homework on there.
Do you feel like that was hard for you in the aspect of like you're not getting that high school experience?
Oh, for sure, because I didn't get to experience prom.
Me either.
You
like
didn't? Why?
I didn't experience it because I moved my senior year to the school where I met Danny. So obviamente yo nomás conocía a Danny, Irma y unos amiguitos. Like I didn't know anyone because I had just moved in. Y luego para acabarla de cagar, where we were having our prom, that's where I had my 8th grade dance at. So I was like, girl, I am not about to relive 8th grade. So me acuerdo que en vez de ir a prom, we ended up going to Disneyland.
But
it was like our
like,
it was like at least we did something. Pero tú ni eso te tocó.
No, they did have a prom though. It's like it was an event, and they invited everyone. But I'm like, why am I gonna go if I don't know anyone? I only know them online. Like it's weird.
No fuiste.
No, I didn't, because I thought that was weird.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
So obviously, you know, you've talked about your parents divorcing when you were super, super young. ¿Cómo fue eso para ti? ¿Cómo pasó eso? ¿Cómo te dices cuenta de que, güey, se van a separar mis papás?
Them divorcing was so hard on me, because I was really attached to my dad. I have always been a daddy's girl. So I mean, my parents separated a few times before they actually got divorced, and it was just hard on me, because obviously my dad moved out when they got separated, and I would get like separation anxiety, because I mean, I would do everything with him. So I feel like that is kind of what caused me to be kind of depressed, because they were always like on and off when I was a kid. And I remember being depressed as a kid.
Like seeing everything, seeing the peleas and everything. It just took a mental toll on you.
Oh, yeah, for sure. I feel like now that's why I have issues. And maybe that's why I'm still a little depressed. That's still like trauma to me, you know?
Like you still think about it?
Yeah.
Well, how young were you when they got divorced?
I remember them separating when I was very little. I don't remember how young I was, maybe like 4 or 5. Then they would get back together. Then my mom got pregnant with my sister Evelyn. And my dad and her separated again. I'm like trying to think of the timeline, because they were on and off a lot. Yeah. Until they finally got divorced. I was like around 12 maybe.
Was it ever like, since they would get back together a lot, did you ever think like, oh, maybe this is just another one of their breakups, it's not that serious?
Yeah, it kind of felt like unstable to me. I would always be like, oh, like I never know when he's gonna leave again, you know? So I don't know. I feel like that's what would cause me anxiety as a child.
Now as an adult, obviously tus papás ya están haciendo tu vida. Do you feel like it still hurts you que no están juntos?
I mean, every kid wants their parents to be together, but sometimes they're better off being separated if, you know, like they don't get along. Like, you don't want to witness them arguing or anything.
All the time. Like, it's already draining. So I feel like,
Yeah.
I feel like lo que pasa contigo is like, you're like, okay, you know, even though I wish they were together, me gusta más que estén separados porque aunque sean tan felices. En vez de estar juntos y siempre peleando.
Yeah, and now they each have their own partners, so they...
Which is good.
Yeah, they're happy.
You go through your childhood, your parents divorce, y como tú dices, en un momento you start doing social media. ¿Cómo empezó todo eso?
I feel like it all started on Facebook. Obviously, like the MySpace days, you know, I wasn't MySpace famous, but on Facebook, I was kind of like Facebook famous. All my friends would be like, hey, like, this is my friend, she's Facebook famous. And they would all like brag about it. But yeah, that's where it all started. That's actually how Elsie found out about me too.
Shut up. I literally could have sworn you started on Instagram, bitch.
No, it was Facebook. I would go viral for like my selfies. And low-key, like some of my Tumblr posts would go viral. So it all started like Tumblr, Facebook. That's how Elsie found out about me. And she actually DM'd me on Instagram, and we were following each other at that point. That's when I was doing the makeup videos on Instagram.
Como cuando yo te conocí por ese entonces.
Yeah. Wait, no.
Yeah, bitch, I met you very young. I met you at not Impressions Vanity, at you remember that one brush thingy that everybody would promote back in the days?
Vanity Planet.
Vanity Planet, yeah. I met you at an event.
Oh, that's
I remember, yes,
hey, that
bitch.
was my first makeup event.
Yo te conocí ahí. I remember, and then out of nowhere, you started coming up on my page, and you would do all your videos, and they would blow up.
Yeah.
Me acuerdo de every fucking little video que posteabas, like 1 million views at least.
Yeah, and you know what's funny? When I was getting homeschooled, I made my dad buy me a laptop and a camera, and I'm so grateful. He didn't have a lot. He didn't have a lot of money, but he like sacrificed a lot to buy me like the laptop and camera.
Lo que necesitabas.
Yeah, to start YouTube, because I've been wanting to do YouTube since I was in high school, but obviously since I was a shy kid, like I would get anxiety even talking on camera. But my dad did a lot for me. But yeah, like I was saying, Elsie DM'd me on Instagram, and she invited me to that was my first makeup event. I know Vanity Planet was just another brand. It wasn't a makeup event, but she invited me to, what brand was it? I forgot what brand it was, but she invited me. She's like, hey, you want to come to a makeup event with me? And I had never met her in person. And I was surprised because, like, I'm telling you, I'm shy. Like, I would never be like,
wants to hang out,
No, but I mean, I would always get people wanting to hang out, but I was just too shy. That's why I'm telling you, I'm surprised I even went because I was shy. And something in me told me to go. I was like, fuck it, like, let's go. We met, and Elsie and I became super close. And shortly after, like, literally a few months after, we moved in together.
So you guys didn't even have a long time meeting each other. You guys just kicked it off right away.
Yeah.
How was that whole convo of moving in? Did it start off as a joke and like, oh, we should move in, y luego terminaron juntas o cómo?
Yeah, so I think she had invited me to the OTD Fash warehouse and we started hanging out. And I remember this conversation. We were going through the Starbucks drive-thru, and she had told me that she wanted to move out, and I was like, fuck, me too. And we were like, let's move in together. We were like, yeah, we just did it.
Yeah, you are shooting your shot. You're like, maybe we ask. You're all hoping she'd say yes, and then just y'all said no.
I don't remember who asked. It was like
just like a mutual thing.
Yeah, we were like, we're both looking for roommates, so we just moved in together. And I feel like that's where like the social media really popped off.
Where you started taking it more serious.
Yeah,
that's so crazy because yo me acuerdo. Antes, before I had my fallout with Elsie, you remember when we did the meet and greet?
Yes.
At the OTD fashion store in La Habra. Y me acuerdo que apenas estaban juntando, and then we stopped talking, well, me and Elsie. Y luego, a los meses, ya estaban viviendo juntos making content. I could have sworn, bitch, you guys had been knowing each other for a long time.
We had just met, like, for the meet and greet, we had just known each other for a few months.
So obviously, you were doing social media ya por unos meses, even a year or two. Pero ¿qué fue el momento que tú dijiste, sabes que I can make social media my full-time job?
I think when Elsie and I did a meet and greet at the West Covina Mall, and we shut it down. We shut it down. The police came to shut it down, and we were like, oh my God, like, we have a lot of supporters. Like, we're making it.
Yeah.
And when Elsie and I first started YouTube, we weren't doing it for the money. We wouldn't even get paid for a long time. We would just do it as a like creative outlet to gain a platform. But after that, I think shortly after that, we started monetizing our videos, and we were like, oh my God, like, we could make a living off of this. Yeah. And then I think a few months into it, we got a management. And that's when I knew, like, damn, like, I'm going to do this for the rest of my life.
It's crazy because I feel like when you guys blew up, it almost felt very, like, overnight. Obviously, it wasn't overnight. There was a lot going into it. But, like, when you guys did start posting together, like, you guys literally went viral quickly.
Yeah.
Was that hard for you guys to like comprehend, like, oh shit, like we have so many people watching us?
No, I think it was more exciting because our first YouTube video did amazing. So I feel like we didn't even have to really struggle to get a platform. Because from the beginning, we just did amazing. People just loved us together. They thought we were hilarious.
Do you remember what your first video together was?
Yes, she pranked me. She did a home invasion prank.
Bitch, you're scared.
We had went to an event and we came back and everything was like the cajon. I mean
the bed and everything.
The couch was like flipped over. My laptop was missing, and I was freaking out because I was editing. I had like several makeup videos edited, and they were for brand deals.
Yeah.
And I was freaking out. I was like, my laptop is gone.
You're like, my money, my life is ruined.
The video's still up, but I was honestly like, I never expected her to prank me. And that video just did so well.
And that's how you guys started. After that, la gente quería más y más y más, y pues agarraron más. This episode is brought to you by BetterHelp. Give online therapy a try at betterhelp.com/noche and get on your way to being your best self. A veces we're faced with crossroads in life and we don't know which path to take. Maybe you're thinking about a career change or feeling like your relationship needs some TLC. Whatever it is, therapy can help you map out your future and trust yourself to find the way forward. Amigas, it is so easy to get caught up in what other people need from you, friends, family, and relationships. Y yo honestamente sufro mucho de eso. Y honestamente, I even often neglect my own needs in the process. BetterHelp can help you for learning positive coping skills, and it can empower you to be the best version of yourself. If you're thinking of starting therapy, give BetterHelp a try. It is entirely online, designed to be convenient, flexible, and suited to your schedule. Just fill out the brief questionnaire to get matched with a licensed therapist and switch therapists anytime for no additional charge. Let therapy be your map with BetterHelp. Visit betterhelp.com/noche today to get 10% off your first month. That is BetterHelp, HELP.com/noche. And with that being said, let's get right back to the episode. That's so crazy to think. Obviously, you know, you guys both created this big empire, not just together, but individually, because at the end of the day, you know, you guys are paired together, but you guys were also able to make careers individually.
Yeah.
Has it ever been, you know, hard for you guys to like sometimes be like, oh, you know, at the end of the day, I'm also AlondraDessy, my own person?
No, because I feel like that's how we blew up. We blew up together. So when they say like Alondra and Elsie, I don't mind. We grew together, and we do now have our individual channels. But I feel like people will always associate us together. Yeah. Because not only that, we have like collabs together. We have so many things together. Yeah. So.
I actually like that because I feel like every time I think about you and Elsie. Anytime I think about Elsie, I think about Elsie and Alondra.
Yeah.
Like como que las junto juntas, and obviously both of you guys tienen sus vidas individualmente. You have your own business. Eres toda una pinche CEO. How did that get started?
I actually wanted to start a lash brand since I was a teenager. I would always have conversations about this to my dad, and he would be like, yes, as soon as I save up enough, like, I'm gonna help you out. And obviously that was never possible because he wasn't well off financially, so I obviously had to save up on my own to even start it. And I feel like it took me a very long time to save up because starting a business is very expensive. I started the lash brand when Elsie and I moved into our second apartment together, so it did take me a couple years.
Because you had to save for it.
Yeah, it was expensive, but I'm so happy that I was able to like make my dreams come true because it's something that I wanted since I was little. Start. Yeah.
And I feel like the brand does good on itself. The lashes are bomb. Hasta la modelo también, bitch. Every time you would post with your lashes, I'm like, wait, no sé cómo se me vayan a mirar a mí, pero las quiero. Was there ever any, you know, hardships as a business owner? Did you ever struggle where you're like, you know what? Sabes que this is too much. Hasta quiero dejar el negocio hasta aquí.
Oh my God, yes. Several times. I feel like I've had many mental breakdowns because of it, because in the beginning I got effed over because I spent all of my money starting the business, and this manufacturer sent all like because I'm a perfectionist, they sent all the lash boxes like scratched up, and I literally had to throw all that money away and save up again to go to a different manufacturer. and get like the bulk order again. So
y perdiste el dinero.
Yeah, I lost so much money. Not only that, like shortly after, I ordered like a huge bulk order, and it said it was delivered, and it was never delivered, and I paid thousands of dollars for it, and I had like a whole mental breakdown. I was like, there goes all my money. Like, I'm never gonna be able to like recover from this. But thankfully, my bank was able to resolve it, and that's how I was able to actually start it. I think after that, after I got effed over by that manufacturer, and I got my money back, I reordered.
Oh, you were able to get your money back.
Yeah.
Oh, qué bueno. Imagínate, güey.
Yeah,
te hubieras quedado sin pestañas y pobre.
Yeah, literally. So it happened to me twice after that. After the bank gave me my money back, that's when I started the lash business.
That's crazy.
It's little things like that. Like, there's so much that goes into a business. Like, I was the content creator. I was taking the pictures. I had to do all the photo shoots, the marketing, like myself. I had to reach out to like influencers,
do everything.
It was a lot for me. Now I have help, and I feel like I'm not as hands-on. And I do want to be more hands-on now, because I feel like my lash brand has so much more potential.
Yeah.
I'm just not as hands-on because I'm a mommy now, so I feel like I have less time. Yeah.
But how is it? You know, obviamente ya tienes a gente trabajando contigo. That on itself is a big accomplishment. Like, that means that your brand is growing to the point where you're like able to employ other people. How does that make you feel?
Well, when I first got employees, I was like, oh my God, like I'm doing it. Like I made it.
Like, I'm legit. Yeah.
And you know what's funny? I actually got my first warehouse with Elsie too.
Shut up. How was that?
She convinced me. She had a wholesale brand, and I had my lash brand, and I was running my business out of the apartment.
Oh shit.
So she's like, let's get a warehouse together. And I was so nervous. I was like, do I even make enough money to pay the warehouse rent? And she convinced me. She's like, yeah, like, look at your Shopify sales and you'll see if you could pay rent or not. And I was like, you're right. Like, I overthink for no reason.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, I could afford it. And we got a warehouse together. Then shortly after, I got my own warehouse, like, on my own, because I came out with merch. I was like, I need more space.
I need space. Aquí no cabemos las dos.
And my merch also did amazing. I don't do merch now, but I combined my lash and my merch in one warehouse.
You mentioned that you overthink things, that like sometimes como que hasta miedo te da to do that big step. Do you feel like that has a lot to do with like how you grew up?
Yeah, I think because I always felt judged growing up, because I would get bullied. I'm like, oh yeah, they're judging me for sure, because like this person says this about me. Like, I'm pretty sure this person also thinks the same thing. So I feel like that really impacted my life in a negative way.
Elsie was there to be like, no, bitch, you can do it.
Yeah, she
like,
was.
No andas
she
con
was
pendejadas.
she was literally my hype man. She's honestly the one that pushed me to do a lot of things. So I'm really grateful for her. I really appreciate her for all of that.
So obviamente después de being on social media, you know, you blew up, you literally had your business y pasaste por muchas cosas y finalmente conoces a Benny. ¿Cómo pasó eso? ¿Cómo conociste al amor de tu vida?
Here's the funny thing. I actually knew of him when Elsie and I met.
Okay.
I found out about him when Elsie and I filmed a video for my channel, because he had filmed a Smasher Pass video. He included me, and he was like, baby girl, hit me up. And then Elsie and I filmed a Smasher Pass video, and I did the same thing to him.
Yeah.
And I had posted his Smasher Pass video because his editing skills were like so good.
Yeah.
And I was like, I wish I could edit like this. And I tagged him, and he told me the story. He said he was filming for a wedding, and I had followed him back, and I followed him back, and he was so excited. He like stopped everything he was doing because I followed him back, because I was his crush back then. With no surgeries, he liked me.
Ay, para que no digan que nomás por el cuerpo me
literally,
quiere,
he had a crush on me before I even got anything done. That happened. We followed each other for years, and we never met in person until I think Elsie's 23rd birthday, maybe. It's when she had a mansion party. You know, we followed each other for years, and we finally like started talking when we went to an influencer trip. It was the Montana trip, and we just became like inseparable after that.
Yeah, because that you guys literally clicked right away. I remember watching your guys' content, and I was like, bitch, I could have sworn they knew each other for so long.
No,
like your guys' chemistry was so good.
It was just on social media that we knew each other. I mean, we had met in person, but we never actually had a conversation.
Yeah,
you know
like you guys were interacting.
Yeah, because I knew he had a crush on me, because even on the Montana trip, they're like, ooh, Alondra's riding alone. Like, Benny, go with her. He's not getting red. Yeah, he had a crush on me for so long. And after I hung out with him, I hung out with him after Montana, a little bit during Montana. I was like, he's so funny. Like, he's cool. And you know?
Y de ahí
Fell in
empezó
love.
esa
Yeah.
pinche historia de amor. So obviamente,
Yeah.
you know, you have a baby now. How was that? Obviamente, from dating, you get pregnant. How was it like, you know, finding out that you were pregnant? Was it scary or cómo fue todo eso?
It was honestly shocking because I don't know if you know this, but I had ovarian cyst.
Oh, shit. Okay.
So I thought I couldn't get pregnant. I mean, Benny and I didn't use protection for very long. So I was like, oh my God, like I probably can't get pregnant. And obviously I would beat myself up over it. Yeah, it would make me really sad. But my ovarian cyst ruptured. I got rushed to the ER, got emergency surgery. And shortly after it ruptured, maybe the cyst was in the way because it was in my ovaries. Shortly after I got pregnant. So I was shocked because in my head I was like, I'm infertile. I never got pregnant. Like
aquí quedé ya, like I'm gonna adopt
to
or
not
something.
be like protected. So I never saw it coming, but obviously I was happy because, you know, I always wanted a kid, and me thinking I was infertile, that was like, I was so freaking happy.
You're like, yes, bitch.
Yeah,
You're
but
like,
it was very shocking.
Yeah.
It was so shocking.
Obviously, you told him first, but who was like the first family member you told him? What was their reaction?
Well, my sister was there when I took the pregnancy test. And I showed her and we both cried together. She was so happy for me because I think a month before, I thought I was pregnant. And I took a pregnancy test and it was negative. And I had a whole mental breakdown because I was like, I'm never going to have kids. Like, I'm infertile. Like, I felt like I cursed myself because I would always tell my mom, I never want kids. I was like, fuck, did I do this to myself? Like, why did I say those things? And now, like, I actually want a kid. I can't get pregnant. And literally a month after, I got pregnant.
How was your pregnancy? Was it like a smooth pregnancy or cómo fue eso?
No, my pregnancy was horrible. So I was in and out of the hospital. I actually, like, documented all of this. I was diagnosed with hyperemesis gravidarum. So
what's that?
That's basically when you have, like, uncontrollable like vomiting and nausea. So I would literally throw up like at least 10 times a day.
Oh shit.
Even if I wouldn't eat food. So I was throwing up. Every time I would drink water, I would throw it up. So that's why I was in and out of the hospital because I always had to be on IV, on bed rest.
Shit.
And since I had the hyperemesis gravidarum and I was always throwing up, I literally couldn't eat. I lost so much weight during my pregnancy. I was skinny. I weighed less during pregnancy than I did before I got pregnant.
Shut up.
Yeah.
Really? Oh my God.
Yeah.
That's how crazy it was.
Yeah,
then.
so I was on bed rest, on IV. That's why I'm scared to have more kids because they say once you have hyperemesis gravidarum, you're bound to have it for
every pregnancy.
Yeah, and Benny wants more kids, so I don't know. You're bound to have hyperemesis gravidarum, from what I've heard, for the rest of your pregnancy. So I do want more kids, but I don't want to go through the pregnancy process.
Like, it's just painful.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's probably like for you, it's probably annoying because it's like, bitch, me estoy levantando, vomitarme. Me voy a dormir, vomitarme.
Yeah.
It was that bad then.
It was hard. I wasn't working during my pregnancy, really. So it was really hard on me mentally because I was like, fuck, I have to work. Like, I can't just be in bed. So I feel like all I would think about is getting up to work, but I physically couldn't.
Yeah.
Because I remember Elsie and I tried filming for our joint channel, but I was like, dude, I literally can't. I was getting up to like throw up so constantly. So I feel like after my pregnancy, we kind of stopped a little bit
doing the channel.
Our channel. Yeah. We obviously have our own kids, so it makes it a little bit harder for us to film now.
Was your pregnancy considered like a high risk pregnancy because of that or no?
No. I think high risk would be like preeclampsia and all that, but it was just vomiting a lot.
But because of all that you were going through, did it ever cross your mind like, oh my God, I hope that everything's okay. I hope baby's okay, especially because you weren't eating as much?
Yes. So I don't think I ever said that I was on medication, but during my whole pregnancy, I was on medication for the hyperemesis gravidarum. And that really worried me because I was like, what if my baby doesn't come out okay? Like, there's like potential side effects, but I literally could not function without the medication. Even when I would take it, I was still throwing up, which was rare. Like, the doctors would be like, oh, like, people usually take the medication and they won't throw up. I know I would still go to the hospital on the medication, even the medication through IV, it's still throwing up in the hospital.
Oh shit. So you had it really, really bad.
It was tough.
So obviamente tuviste un embarazo súper complicado. You know, you get through the 9 months y tienes a tu bebé. A whole 360 life change. How has being a mommy changed you?
I feel like I'm way more understanding now. I see life in a different perspective for sure. I feel like now, obviously I relate to my mom more. I feel like I understand her now because I would blame her for things that weren't her fault. And now that I'm a mom, I understand things and I understand why she would get frustrated. And I just learned to have more patience and to enjoy the little things in life.
You know, you do social media for a living, and a big part of our life is like going to events, doing this, doing that. Obviously, that's gotten complicated, but do you feel like it gets overwhelming at times?
Yeah, for sure. Because I feel like even filming is a little difficult for me. I feel like that's why sometimes I go like a month without posting because I'm so focused on being a mom, taking care of the house.
Yeah.
And he right now he's a toddler, so he's very attached to me, like very clingy. So like to film, like no me deja. I have to do a brand deal, like no me deja.
He's like, I want to be in the video too.
Yeah, I'm like making breakfast for him and he wants me to carry him. I'm like, boy, you heavy. Doing things with him is hard. It's for difficult. Sure. Even for makeup events. Our only babysitter right now is Benny's mom and she lives in Stockton. So Stockton from LA is 6 hours. So sometimes I don't go to all makeup events, and I hope some influencers understand, like, if they invite me to events, it's hard for me.
Yeah. It's a whole mission.
Yeah, it's a mission because going to Stockton, then coming back to LA 6 hours, then going to pick him up. I try to make things happen. I feel like now I've been going out a lot more because my sister started helping me take care of him.
That's cute. And I feel like also ya está más grandecito tu bebé to where you're able to be like, you know what, me siento más cómoda dejándolo con alguien porque antes a lo mejor you'd be like, fuck, no, está muy chiquito, no lo puedo dejar con cualquier persona.
When he was a baby, obviously he had to eat like every 3 hours. So I was like, I know someone else can't handle this.
Yeah.
Benny's mom helped me since the beginning. After I gave birth, my mom and Benny's mom stayed with us for like a week.
Damn, that's crazy.
We have a lot of help. We have a lot of support, which I'm super grateful for.
And that's good. So obviamente, you know, tienes a tu bebé y algo súper común after giving birth for a lot of women is postpartum depression. Did you ever suffer from that? If so, in what way?
I wouldn't consider it postpartum depression. I was already depressed.
Okay.
So after I gave birth, I feel like something in my brain like changed. I don't know if it like balanced me out, but I feel like I became way more calm and I had less panic attacks, less anxiety. Obviously now I have it again, but shortly after I gave birth, I was doing good. It wasn't too bad. I think because I had a lot of support.
Social media does give you a lot of anxiety.
Oh my God.
So a lo mejor también lo que pudo haber pasado is that after you had your baby, you kind of were taking like a break from social media to atenderlo. So it kind of made you forget about social media in a way.
Yeah, I feel like, for sure. Because I feel like I always say, oh, the comments don't get to me, but I feel like maybe that's always in the back of my head, like all the hate comments, and maybe that's what triggers me to get anxiety. Because you know what I noticed? Sometimes when I post pictures, I log off. I don't
want to know what they're saying.
Yeah, sometimes I won't even respond back to the comments because I'm like, here comes the hate. Because I feel like every time I post, I always get hate.
The people that hate on you are so stupid. Like, they can't call you ugly, and they do. And I'm like, bitch, have you seen her?
They
like,
don't,
you're
babe.
on. You're like, that's not what they hate on, though. You're like, they never call you that.
No, they talk a lot of shit about, obviously, plastic surgery. I have plastic surgery.
Yeah.
And I feel like nowadays, natural girls get praised, and people body shame people with plastic surgery. But it's crazy because you get plastic surgery to feel better about yourself, but the supporters talk even more shit, and it triggers more like anxiety,
or it triggers more insecurities because you're like, fuck, I feel good, but they're saying I don't look good. Do I not look good?
Yes.
Like, it starts getting into your head. How old were you when you got your first surgery?
I think I was about to be 21. It was like a few days before my 21st birthday. I first got my boobs done.
How was that? How was that experience? I've heard boobs are like the least painful.
No, that was like the worst for me. Because it usually takes like a week for you to recover for breast augmentation. Yeah. It took me like a month. And I got my surgery with Elsie, so we were both recovering together. And I had complications. Literally, half my boob turned black, and I literally thought I was dying. I was like, oh my God, my boob is gonna...
¿Se te pudrió o qué?
Yeah, I was like, se me pudrió, but it was a hematoma. It was blood clots, and it turned like literally half of it black. So after surgery, they had to like open me up. Not under anesthesia. It was the most painful shit of my life. Elsie was in the room with me. I literally cried. They opened me up and they squeezed the blood clots out. And I still didn't learn my lesson because I got more surgery.
Like, that just motivated me.
Yeah, no.
That's crazy. Was it like life-threatening? That's why they had to go in? Or
I mean, I'm sure that would be life-threatening if I stay with blood clots. Yeah. So they did have to like rapidly like opened me up right then and there and squeezed them out.
Was that like traumatizing? Obviously not enough, but like,
I mean,
how was it, like the experience? Like, were you scared? Obviously, like that sounds scary on itself, but like going through it, ¿cómo fue tu process or your mind? How was that?
Yeah, well, it was traumatizing because I'm traumatized to ever get my boobs done again. Like, I know I'm gonna have to replace the implants, and I'm like dreading when that time comes because it was the worst experience of my life, like recovery.
Yeah,
but they look good.
I like butterball. Anyways, that is so crazy. So obviously, you talk about the hate you get. You know what's so crazy? The other day you were actually responding back to the haters. I would have never guessed that you get so much hate, but you actually do. ¿Cómo le haces tú to deal with all that hate?
I just try to stay positive. I mean, I have a good life and I feel like I have to focus on the good things, which is my actual supporters, people that are positive in my life. And people in real life that support me. Because I feel like I look good.
You look good, bitch.
But you know what's crazy? When was it? Yesterday, I saw a TikTok. They were talking shit about my BBO. And it was literally like almost 500 comments, all negative. All negative, just talking shit about my body. But I feel like it doesn't get to me because I feel good about myself.
You look good though, too. You look good. And you know what's so crazy? I feel like es la gente como les gusta hablar. Yo siempre digo, la gente habla porque tiene hocico. Like, I genuinely feel like you look so good in person, online.
I feel good. That's why I don't let it get to me. But I'm like, damn, like almost 500 people like hate me.
Yeah, like, or hate what I did. Like,
hate
what
my
the
body.
Fuck? Like, they literally get so passionate about a certain thing como si ellos tuvieran el cuerpo que tú tienes. Like, si en verdad piensan que está mal el BBO, pues cállense, no es su cuerpo. Ustedes no son las que están luciendo el cuerpo.
And it's crazy because I've said this on the internet before. I'm like, just because I have plastic surgery, it doesn't mean I'm better than you. So I don't know why people get so like offended by me getting plastic surgery. I'm like, girl, you look good too. Like
it's not my fault I look bomb.
Yeah, like there's no need to hate.
So obviamente hablamos del hate que agarras, and and I feel like you've been very vocal about your mental health, and I feel like a lot of your followers siempre te andan preguntando, Alondra, ¿cómo andas? ¿Cómo te sientes? How has your mental health been? How has it been?
I'm honestly still on my healing journey. I haven't found a solution to it yet because I did say in a YouTube video that I started on medication, but the medication made me lose a ton of weight and the side effects were crazy. It would make me angry, like very irritable, and obviously I don't want to be like that around my baby, so I got off the medication. So I'm still trying to find a solution to it. I feel like I tend to go off social media when I get like an excessive amount of hate. I feel like that's why I disappear for like a month.
Yeah.
It's because of that. I'm trying to like, I guess, heal.
It's always important to take a break and just be like, you know what? Like, it's okay to worry about me. La gente puede esperar for AlondraDessy un mes o dos, but it's all like, mientras que tú te sientas bien y mientras que tú estés en un mejor state of mind, that's all that matters. When you do get offline, what do you do? Like, obviamente you try not to think about like the negativity, but obviously I'm sure it's in the back of your head. When you are getting a lot of negative comments, ¿cómo le haces tú like behind the scenes?
I just cry.
You're like, I just cry myself. I
try to like go out and spend time with my baby and with Benny to like get my mind off of things, but then I get even more anxiety because I'm like, oh my god, I'm not working, I haven't uploaded in a month on YouTube, so that gives me even more anxiety because I'm like, oh my god, I'm gonna be irrelevant now, I'm not gonna have a career. So it's always a battle in my head. I'm like, should I take time off for myself or should I really focus on my career?
Do you feel like you have a hard time trying to juggle like the being an influencer, being a mommy, being a wifey?
Oh, for sure.
Like, how's that?
For sure. I feel like especially with mental health, it makes things like 10 times harder because obviously I'm trying to take care of our house, trying to make sure I'm there for my baby, like spend time with him, and also, film YouTube videos. And not only that, obviously Benny's a YouTuber, so I have to help him film and then he helps me film. Like, it's hard juggling everything.
Like, it's overwhelming at times too, right? Especially because tienes la presión, like your own pressure, and then you actually do have the audience pressure of like, Alondra, ¿dónde estás? And you're over here like, bitch, I'm trying to get a fucking break. Y ustedes quieren que ande al 100 a todo momento. They're talking about maintaining your house. Te acabas de comprar casa hace un poco. How was that, amiga? That's big news.
That was so exciting. It was literally like out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Because Benny and I had been looking at houses together and we're going to buy a house. And we were like, why don't we start off small? He gets a property, then I get a property until we're able to buy our dream home. Because the house that I bought, we don't plan on living in it forever. But it's a huge accomplishment. I'm very proud of myself for being able to purchase my own home. But it was just super exciting. I love my house.
Was the process crazy?
It was stressful. It took a couple of months. I didn't realize how stressful it is purchasing a property.
It is. And I'm sure it's like un chingo de cosas that go into it.
Yeah, like you have to like thoroughly read the contracts and then home insurance and all this. I'm like, I don't even understand this.
You're like, bitch, I don't even know how to read my own contracts.
No, literally, I'm
away.
like not even reading it.
Hi, check, yes.
Like, baby girl, stand right here.
Stop fucking setting you up,
I
man.
know.
They're like, give us all your money that's in your bank account.
I'm like, okay.
You're like, deal.
Yeah.
Ya tienes tu casa, you have your baby, you have your family. What is next for AlondraDessy? ¿Qué te miras haciendo tu amiga en los próximos 5 años?
Well, I for sure do want to purchase more properties. Social media is not going to last forever. I already know that. So I want to have a backup plan and have multiple properties and eventually like Airbnb them or rent them out. Or
that's crazy. That's good. That's good.
Those are my plans for now.
And then what plans tienes tú para tu línea de lashes? Do you want to expand into makeup or is it lash only? Verte en tienda o qué?
Yeah, you know what? I've thought about this for like 2 years now. I did want to incorporate makeup into it, but I always thought that the name didn't go with makeup because it's called the Lash Bar LA.
Yeah.
So I feel like I would have to start a whole new brand.
Or rebrand the whole thing.
Yeah, rebrand the whole thing. And I don't want to let go of the Lash Bar LA because it's my baby. Like, that's how everything started. Like, I don't know. It's just like, I can't let go of the name.
It almost makes you feel like you got to start from zero.
Yeah.
And it's like, bitch, I struggled a lot to make this fucking brand what it is now.
Yeah, for sure. So,
do you see yourself ever going into stores like Ulta, Sephora? That would be iconic.
I've thought about it, but I feel like mentally I'm not ready yet because I feel like I would have to be more hands-on for sure. Because like I told you, I kind of like backed off. I used to do everything. I used to like submit the orders, everything, and now I have employees doing it. So I'm not hands-on. I feel like eventually when I do get my mental health in check and I know I'm able to juggle everything, I eventually do want to go into stores. I feel like that would be amazing. That would be a huge accomplishment.
That would be. Y yo voy a ser el primerito. Voy a ir a comprar mi fucking Foxy Lash. Ahí voy a andar.
I love you.
No, pero thank you so much, amiga, por estar aquí con nosotros. Yo sé que andabas un poquito nerviosa.
I was really nervous, you guys. I was like, I'm gonna stutter. I've never been on a podcast.
No, you did good.
Before.
You did good, bitch. Y yo también quiero decir una cosa porque ya los conozco. Ay, Ala, no la dejas hablar. Amigas, yo la miro casi temblando a mi amiga. So estoy tratando de platicar con ella para que se sienta más a gusto. But you did amazing. Thank you so much, amiga, for coming on. Yo sé que muchos de ustedes ahí en casita han disfrutado este episodio. And I don't know, I just want to say thank you so much for making it happen.
Thank you for having me. And thank you for making me feel comfortable.
Oh, no, you're welcome, friend. Antes de que terminemos este episodio, remember, if you guys want to go ahead and keep up with Alondra, ahí les voy a dejar all her usernames down below in the description. También aquí en la pantallita donde están mirando ahorita. And also, don't forget to follow me on all my social media so you guys won't miss any future episodes. And with that being said, you guys, thank you once again for coming.
Thank you for having me.
And thank you guys so much for watching. And we'll see you guys in the next one. Bye, guys.